Today's lesson is on dividing decimals. For number 1, we're going to divide. We have 18 and 2/10 divided by 1 and 4/10. 18 and 2/10 is our dividend, so it goes underneath. 1 and 4/10 is the divisor. It's the number we're dividing by, so it goes on the outside. When we're dividing decimals, we need to make sure the divisor is a whole number. 1 and 4/10 is not a whole number, so we need to go ahead and convert it to a whole number. In order to convert this to a whole number, we would need to multiply by 10, because 1 and 4/10 times 10 is 14. So we would move our decimal over one place to the right. If we move our decimal one place to the right for the divisor, we have to do the same thing for the dividend. So we're going to multiply the dividend by 10 as well, which means we'd move our decimal one place to the right. And so now our number is 182. So now our problem is 182 divided by 14. Since we've moved our decimal and we're ready to divide, we need to put our decimal in the answer, or the quotient. So we'll bring it straight above and put in our decimal. Now let's divide. 14 cannot go into 1, so we'll put a 0. 14 goes into 18 one time. 1 times 14 is 14, and we need to subtract. 8 minus 4 is 4, and 1 minus 1 is 0. Now we'll bring down the 2. 14 goes into 42 3 times. 3 times 14 is 42, and then we subtract and we get 0. Since we get 0 and we have nothing left to bring down, we are finished with our problem. So our answer is 13. For number 2, we're going to go ahead and divide. We have 6 and 84 hundredths divided by 5 and 7/10. 6 and 84 hundredths is our dividend, so it goes underneath, and 5 and 7/10 is the divisor. It goes on the outside. 5 and 7/10 is not a whole number, so we need to convert it to a whole number. And to make this into a whole number, we would multiply it by 10. Multiplying by 10 basically means we move our decimal one place to the right. So it becomes 57. If we multiply 5 and 7/10 by 10, we also need to multiply 6 and 84 hundredths by 10. So we would need to move our decimal one place to the right for 6 and 84 hundredths and make it 68 and 4/10. Now that we have moved our decimal, we can bring it straight above for our answer. So now our problem is 68 and 4/10 divided by 57. 57 goes into 6 0 times. So we'll put our 0. 57 goes into 68 one time. 1 times 57 is 57. And we will subtract. 8 minus 7 is 1. And 6 minus 5 is 1. Now we need to bring down the 4. Now we need to see how many times 57 can go into 114. 57 goes into 114 2 times. And 2 times 57 is 114. We need to subtract and we get 0. Since we have nothing left and we do not have any numbers to bring down, we are finished. So our answer is 1 and 2/10. For our third problem, we're going to insert zeros for the dividend and quotient. So we're going to divide. We have 2 and 45 hundredths divided by 7 thousandths. 2 and 45 hundredths is our dividend, so we'll put that underneath. 7 thousandths is our divisor. We put that on the outside. In the previous two problems, we had to convert the divisor and make it a whole number. In those problems, we multiplied by 10 and moved our decimal one place. If we move our decimal one place, that still does not make 7 thousandths a whole number. We would need to convert this by moving our decimal 1, 2, 3 places. Moving it 3 places is the same thing as saying we're multiplying by 1,000. So we multiply by 10, it moves it 1. Multiplying by 100 moves the decimal 2 places. and multiplying by 1,000 moves it 3 places. Since we multiplied 7 thousandths by 1,000, we also need to multiply 2 and 45 hundredths by 1,000, or move that decimal 3 places as well. So we'll move it 1, 2, 3. Now we need to insert our 0. Since we have converted our problem, we need to bring our decimal straight up for our answer. Now we can go ahead and divide. 7 cannot go into 2, so we can place a 0 in our answer. Now 7 goes into 24 3 times, and 3 times 7 is 21. And we can go ahead and subtract. 24 minus 21 is 3. Now we can bring down the 5. 7 goes into 35 5 times. 5 times 7 is 35. When we subtract, we get 0. We have 0 when we subtract, but we still have a number to bring down. We still need to bring down that 0. Now we need to divide again. 7 goes into 0 0 times, and 0 times 7 is 0. And when we subtract, we get 0. Now that we have 0 after we subtract and we have nothing left to bring down, we are finished with our problem. And our answer is 350. Now for number 4, we're going to insert zeros in the dividend and quotient. So we're going to go ahead and divide 18 hundredths divided by 3 thousandths. 18 hundredths is our dividend, so it goes underneath, and 3 thousandths is the divisor. It's the number we're dividing by, so it goes on the outside. 3 thousandths is not a whole number, so we need to multiply that by 1,000 to make it a whole number, which means we move our decimal 3 places to the right. So 1, 2, 3 converts that to 3. Since we multiplied 3 thousandths by 1,000, we also need to multiply 18 hundredths by 1,000. So we'll also move this decimal 3 places to the right. 1, 2, 3. We need to insert our 0 before we can divide. Now that we've converted our problem, we need to bring our decimal straight up for our answer. 3 cannot go into 0, so we'll put a 0. 3 cannot go into 1, so we'll also put another 0. Now we're going to divide 3 into 18, and it goes 6 times. 6 times 3 is 18. When we subtract, we get 0, but we are not finished because we still have a 0 to bring down. 3 goes into 0 0 times, and 0 times 3 is 0, and when we subtract, we get 0. Now we are finished because we have 0 left, and we have nothing to bring down. So our answer is 60.